All right, we're live.
Nice.
We're back. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, Black Lodge Games is officially fully Texan now.
That's right. Long time coming.
Long time coming. Oh my God, we're streaming to 0 people? 2 people. All right, here we go.
Thank God. It's not all for naught.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick's based in Texas now, based in general.
Moved in on yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday. Got here Tuesday. Moved in yesterday. So we're about to unleash a fragment of our full power now.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't even used 5% of our power, but
That's
we're
right.
no longer restrained. Let's see here. Dueling Dragging Adventures. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm not a people. Steve, how's it going, man? I'm not sorry that I have stolen Nick from wherever it is that
Hopefully
you
things
guys were based.
things go well on the weekend.
Yeah.
The weekend gaming group, which I think it would normally be Frank's game tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what he's doing, if he's settled on Conan or not as the replacement for Star Wars.
Oh yeah, how'd that game go?
The Star Wars game?
Yeah.
It was, I think, undermined by a lack of investment from all the people.
Oh, that sucks.
One person definitely didn't want to be there. I'll let you figure out who that was. He has not decided on Conan. All right, well, maybe they're continuing the Star Wars adventure, and Garrick will continue to kill for money.
Yeah. Technology's gotten out of control. It almost looks like you guys are in the same room.
Yeah,
almost.
AI is wild, right?
Yeah, exactly. Got the green screen going, you know, blending it perfectly. Good to see you, Frog Archist. He just passed 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. And he started his YouTube channel earlier this year. It's fucking insane.
Yeah.
One of his videos has like, I think 650,000 views now.
Damn.
Where he broke down like the worst speed run of all time on Halo. It's fucking amazing. I highly suggest you check it out.
Is it worse because it's not successful or because it's batshit or?
Because the guy is like fucks up every single trick, can't remember certain tricks. Like it's really fucking funny.
Nice.
It's like a really famous speed run. How's it going, Primeval?
Hey.
Good to see you, man. We so yeah, we don't have like any sort of a set up yet or anything like this. So we're just in the dining room for now.
Keyword for now.
Yeah, things shall improve though.
Many things to come.
Yeah,
soon. We're going to be launching a meetup imminently.
Yeah, if you are
Austin.
In the Austin area, it'll probably be weekly, maybe bi-weekly, but we're going to do a meetup here. Try and find some other gamers and people
going
who are
for that immersive style. Everything that we talk about, and we are going to spread the seed of the real RPG enlightenment.
Well, and spread our seed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Our bloodline continues with you.
He was a cheater who tried to do one live at an event.
Oh.
Yeah. Too bad.
Done fucked up.
Yeah. I actually saw a video because now I get lots of Halo recommendations because I watch all of Frog's videos.
Yeah.
And someone else did a video about him being a cheater, and it has 1 million views.
Oh, that guy.
So you got to try harder, is what I'm saying. No.
Nice.
I like people who have more than 1 million views on a video.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And if not, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, soon.
Immense self-hatred.
That too.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a whole lot of plans though. A lot of actual videos that are coming up. I've still got one more wedding to go to. The wedding death march is not over, so the travel and the moving
is
this
weekend. Right?
Yeah, it's this weekend.
Yeah. So you'll be away
over.
this weekend. Then it'll be back to
normal.
Back to normal, and also back to your Wretched Epic game.
Yes.
Which I will
next weekend
return to.
Right.
If
they don't kill you immediately in the first session. So we'll see.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes. We've been talking a lot about Axe though recently, obviously, because of Archon's immense and well-deserved success on his Kickstarter.
Yeah.
He's made
incredibly popular, successful and popular.
I think it's like $278,000 as of like an hour ago or something when I checked.
Many stretch goals have been blown through already. It looks like gorgeous books, and more importantly, the guy Macrease has the right philosophy, I think, or at least he's the right starting point.
Yeah, I think so.
About a lot of things, particularly world building, and a point that you've brought up many times, and he has as well. But aligning player incentive and character incentive. Yeah,
that's the thing that I found the most interesting about it. One of the things that I found the most interesting, because a lot of it's very interesting, but it's like the only system where it's made XP for gold sound interesting to me.
And somewhat logically consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not simply a loop of going into the dungeon, getting gold,
an economic loop.
so I can level up, so that I can go deeper into the dungeon and get more loot, so I can level up and back and forth. It's really it's tied more into the actual full arc of the character, telling the greatest story ever, which is the hero's journey of starting as the adventurer, moving on to being the conqueror, and then eventually kings and emperors and that sort of thing.
It makes sense within the world, within the character, the personal character goals, and within the genre.
Yeah, and the incentives are really cool, because the experience system, like, you can't just continue dungeon delving forever to make experience, because eventually, in order to level up, you have like a threshold at each level of like the amount of income, basically, that there's like a cap to how much you can that will actually earn you experience, or like campaign experience, I think is what it's called. And so you have to go out and do these things to increase your income, essentially your resources, and eventually that forces you to go out and start towns and strongholds and conquer territories and all this other stuff,
which you obviously would do.
Yeah,
right. I mean, one way, shape, or form. You found a new town, you take over a new town. The existing power structure doesn't apply or reach to this Borderlands area anymore, and by virtue of your deeds and the acquisitions you've gained, you become the local power, and that grows and grows.
Yeah. And you attract the interest and ire of more powerful enemies that way as well.
Right. Not just more powerful, higher CR monsters.
Right. Yeah. It's not just more. It's not a bigger bag of hit points that's that's coming after you. It's,
the wolf pack becomes a dire wolf pack, becomes wargs, become I don't know, werewolves or something.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking to him.
Yeah, that's right. He's this month in a couple of weeks more. I think it'll be almost at the close of his campaign. He's going to come on the channel and talk to us on the live stream like this. And it'll be a little bit different format because I think we're gonna really prep our questions and give it, like, obviously let him know what the questions are beforehand, so we can cover a lot of ground in great detail. And then if there's like super chats or anything like that, we'll take those at the end.
Hit them at the end,
questions at the end, but it'll mostly just be the conversation between us because you guys don't matter and we don't like you. If I still played D&D, I'd try Axe. Yeah, that's the thing, is like I don't really even like D&D.
Right.
So like this is it's interesting to me, and I'm super fucking pumped for the Judge's Journal, because I read his book on the plane to one of the weddings recently, Arbiter of Worlds. That's like his primer on being a game master. And it's pretty good. There's a lot of good advice in there. There's nothing that I like, literally nothing I disagreed with. But he goes over his kind of method for creating the world of a campaign, like a setting, as like a high concept thing, and then kind of zooming in and doing like the Gygaxian adventure, where you start with a very small opening area, maybe 2 or 3 points of interest around on the map that they can hear rumors about and find.
Yeah.
And then building out these points of interest in kind of a web that are all interconnected. Certain sites of points of interest will have maybe connections to other points. So it's this kind of like web of story seeds and hooks.
Yeah. And even if you don't use that advice specifically, or those steps in that order specifically, as I said, he's coming at it from the right starting point.
Yeah.
He's not trying to make a funhouse dungeon, not trying to make a series of arbitrarily isolated places on the map, or tying together, like daisy chaining encounters per se. It's the complete opposite of that. It's something we've said about what the role of the GM is. You are the curator of the world. That is certainly when you're making your campaign or you're making your world, that absolutely is your number one priority. It remains that in play. But so even if you don't use these steps exactly in the way, it doesn't matter. You're getting good, solid advice from someone who's thinking about games the correct way. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the kind of thing too, is that like he's trying to kind of basically have like the simulationist revival. Like in simulationism and in game design and philosophy of running your game at the table. And I hadn't really heard that term until earlier this year when we started, this project and started, watching other people's YouTube videos and reading about it. But it is essentially it's essentially how we've always run our games, except that he very much draws on the tradition of like old school D&D and like having procedures that support this and all this stuff, like use of tables and generators and things like that, that we basically haven't used before.
I mean, we've been, this has been part of the process since starting the project. We've been in that OSR space, not because
kind of by accident,
but because of this, because we've been exploring older or different or
just
unknown, interesting other aspects of play, other systems, other genres that we haven't been familiar with in our own experience.
And we've had strong opinions about games and what we think makes for a good game, but haven't really thought about game design as such. I don't think until
I would say that's
earlier
accurate.
this year. And so it's, there's a lot of cool stuff. A lot of interesting stuff there.
And it seems to be as near as I can tell, and looking at Acts 1 and hearing him talk about Acts 2 and Acts 1.
Which I have the Acts core book.
Yeah,
keep talking. I'll be right back. I'll grab that.
It seems to be a more, I don't want to say practical, it's a more successful union of that simulationist urge and something which is actually playable, readable, digestible. I also picked up his Ascendant RPG book, and I'm going to be talking to him on that because I don't think that's playable at all. So I'm really curious to hear what were you thinking?
It is interesting though, because
it's correct. It's as near as I can tell, it is
logically consistent,
mathematically. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Mathematically correct. But
it's the thing is, it's a super different genre and a very different game system.
Very different game system.
So he's not a person who's married to
like
the D20,
D&D, D20, the D&D genre, or the D&D I'll say tropes, for lack of a better word.
And trying to apply that to every genre under the sun.
Right, which is
the wrong approach.
It's completely wrong.
Yeah, it's completely wrong. But kind of what I was saying with the simulationism thing, like the kind of core of the idea of like having the world be internally consistent and have the rules not simply the game mechanics, but the rules and logic of the world be consistent and operate on its own terms. Like that is how, like that has always been paramount to us. And it's one of the reasons we don't like things like, you know, mashing together Twin Peaks and Muppets and RoboCop and
and Count Chocula and
and all these different things, because they don't fit together.
They don't make sense. Just like
all of those things individually are fucking awesome.
Right. They belong in their own thing. Just like Gandalf doesn't belong on the Enterprise.
Right.
Kirk doesn't belong in Rohan. You know,
unless it's on the holodeck.
Unless it's on the holodeck.
Although they didn't have the holodeck in the original series, so
that's true.
Right. So that would be inconsistent. It would still be wrong.
Actually,
Holodeck
not invented until Stardate such and such.
This looks weird. You guys need to move to different states again. Well, if you super chat us enough money to make it worth our while to do that, we'll do it. The dislike is mutual, little bro. So
that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be interesting. We have a lot of other games we want to be talking about. I have the rest of my shit isn't getting here until next week. My boxes and boxes and boxes. I think I have 5. What are the sizes of those? 27 gallon? Is it 27 gallon? Big,
boxes.
Boxes, yes. Bins, boxes that are filled up completely with various RPG.
Nice
books.
He brought some of the more important ones.
Yes, because they couldn't fit in the box. Also,
because they couldn't fit. That we were checking out yesterday, and like, there's so many games we want to run. Like, eventually, you're going to run a RuneQuest game.
Yeah. RuneQuest role playing in Glorantha.
Right, which I am super excited about. But also he brought Promethean, which is a game I have desperately always wanted to play. It's one of the
it's never gotten love. People say that it's unplayable because
wrong.
Very wrong.
Because they're wrong.
Because they're wrong. Because you have to keep sort of moving around in that game by virtue of the circumstances of that game and what kind of a creature you are in that game and what effect it has in the world. But that's my favorite Chronicles. Chronicles game by a significant margin. So I really want to run that.
I will be running a Vampire the Requiem game at some point. Because we got to find the right group for that.
Same thing with Promethean. Same thing with a lot of these. A lot of these things.
And also possibly Demon the Descent. A lot of Chronicles of Darkness games that we've never gotten to really play. And I'm super excited about all that stuff. But to be honest, I have my latest obsession has been Axe. And it's
maybe the next game.
I actually think that this is for my home group. This will probably Axe 2 will probably end up being kind of our bread and butter long-term campaign system, because I'm really digging the economics. Like, it's all super well thought out. I'm really digging all of the different tiers of play, that it's always going to be kind of something new. And that the rule set is very solid. Like, I bought a bunch of the source books. I even bought a dungeon module, which we'll talk to him about, because I've got a lot of questions about dungeons still. But I got both of the domains of let's see, what is it? Domains at War, Campaigns and Battles. So these are the 2 supplements that he released for Mass Combat. Campaigns has to do with it has like the abstract kind of theater of the mind, Mass Combat rules, and it also incorporates like scaling your characters into the battle individually as well. So
Which one is that?
This is domain. This is campaigns. So this is the one that this is actually the rule set that will be in X2.
Okay.
Separately, there is battles, which is the tabletop war game. That is compatible with X, like, but it's like a full on miniature war game, and
is
it's a different rule set.
Is that source book meant to, like, illustrate what has become like the heroic forays?
No, so so the heroic forays are covered in campaigns, because the campaigns allows you to. I mean, it covers everything about maneuvering your army, supplying your army, raising an army, and maintaining it. For what happens when two armies enter the same hex, and like just like is one army surprised or both surprised? This determines the type of battle you're having, and then has all of the rules for basically like all of your troops adding into the various kind of battle statistics. I think it's battle power is kind of the main one, and then if your characters are in the battles themselves, like if you're Alexander commanding the army, like at the fucking front, like in the vanguard, then you can do what's called a heroic foray, where you basically wager a certain amount. You can go up to 3 points of battle power that you would be potentially eliminating from the enemy side.
We're being told to check our audio. I don't know if that's for me, for you.
Check the audio. Let me see here. Are we? I mean, it's given us green. Are we sounding like shit?
Yeah.
Okay, it was you. Okay, boomer.
Well, Primeval Fantasy also set up there that he himself is also moving right now.
Oh, so yeah.
Can relate.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Can relate.
I'll be moving next year. Not out of state, Justin, but
there's still time.
There's still time.
There's still time to give lots of money.
Right. But yeah, so you do basically, it's like you can, if you're doing a heroic foray, it's basically like it zooms in on the battle to the party or whoever's in which battalion. Like if you're all on different like legions, or
right? It could just be you. If we're both playing, it could just be you who does a heroic foray while I stay behind, or I could do a separate heroic.
You can do a separate one if you're with a different unit of troops,
right?
Okay. And the units that you fight, like if you're saying, okay, I'm going to wager one point of battle power, basically, that's like kind of the lowest number of troops you can do that you'll be fighting then and actually like engaging with in that fight. And then if you go like 2 is going to be a very challenging fight, and then 3 you might be fighting like 30 enemies on your own, basically. Like it's like almost suicidal. But
yeah, because you were telling me, we were talking about this a few days ago, that the harder or the more you push it, the more like battle power or whatever the mechanical metric is that you're spending or gambling, the risk is always commensurately higher.
Yes. Yeah. So like
you can't ever game it. I know that I'm really good at XYZ, so I'm going to go all in on a safe bet, which I also know is going to have the inflict the worst consequences on the enemy.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a safe bet. I'm going all in and doing max, damage or max morale, erosion, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
It's always risky.
Yes, exactly. It's not like that. It is always risky.
Which is good.
Which is awesome. And so then it zooms in and you play out that part of the battle against however many enemies have been, wagered or whatever, using the standard Axe combat rules. And then that resolves kind of like that round of the battle on your side. Yeah,
the battle round, the combat rounds.
Then you kind of zoom back out and can make your choices that way.
Yeah, it seems really interesting. Cool. I want to put it through its paces. I want to see what it's like in practice.
Right, and it's also like, since morale rules are so important here, it is very much more like actual ancient battles, which is that like most of the killing didn't happen until one side started running, and a lot of times if they could make some sort of an orderly withdraw, like the battle they might lose, but the army hasn't been like obliterated.
Right. You're not killing all 30,000 people. That almost never happens.
Right. Yeah. And so it sounds like, it sounds kind of complicated. Like like all the memes where it's like there's a rule for that in Axe. It's all true. Like there are rules for everything, but it's not complicated.
Right. Or cumbersome to like reference.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
To intuit.
Or to use. I think like you're not going to, it's easy. I think.
Which is also important.
Yeah, which is really cool. But the other reason I want to run this is I like the setting. I like. I want to
hear more. Yeah, I want to hear more, or read more. I know he has source books about the Auran Empire. I just don't know. They are.
Yeah, I got the primer for the Auran. This is one of the things we're going to ask him is like which is the most
Where's
complete
the setting book?
Yeah, or like because I had like the primer on the Auran Empire, and that's like 20 pages or something. But it's I don't know. It's very cool. It's got the monsters in it in Acts 2 are going to be a lot more based in myth. It's like this is another reason I'm very, very like excited about it, is that he's like, because I left the OGL, I'm stripping out all of the D&D isms. And it's not just changing the names of the spells. It's also like getting rid of the stupid fucking D&D monsters and
stripping away the last vestiges of the trash.
Yeah, based in myth. Texas has 2 role players now. That's true, Sean.
Good to see you, Sean.
The only kind of people you need for a vampire game is one's into blood drinking and gay stuff. I mean,
not wrong.
Yeah,
not wrong.
You are more likely to find vampire players in the blood drinking gay community.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. Yeah, but yes, Texas does have 2 role players now, and hopefully
and
more.
With this meetup group, the idea is to find and make more.
Right. So, there is they skipped it this year, but there is in Texas. There's also like a huge VTM LARP that goes on.
Right.
Once a year.
We were looking about this.
That's like a super immersive, like high budget, like there's like a bunch of gore shows going on during it. Like
The Night in Question by Jackalope Studios.
Yeah.
So they said that they were taking 2023 off and that they were coming back in 2024. So that better be true.
We're gonna do it.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're definitely gonna do it.
Yeah. And so we know there's at least, and I'm sure everyone that's involved will be like a turbo lib or whatever. But the World of Darkness people have the kind of role players we want.
Mm-hmm.
California has maybe 2.
Yeah. I mean, that's the case everywhere. Right?
I know. That's the thing. Like role players are.
The answer is always between 0 and 2.
Yeah. 100%. Is Aaron the Pedant in your area?
I don't know.
I don't think he's in Austin.
Is he in Texas?
He is in Texas. Okay. Yeah. So we will most likely go to North Texas Game Con next year. Yeah. So I'm sure we'll run into people. I know Gelatinous Rube is in Texas, I think. So we'll probably run into him at some point. California has 2 role players, me in the mirror. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
So we got the meetup going, obsessed with Axe, got a whole bunch of
we had videos lined up, a lot of projects lined up.
Yeah.
Which is already the case.
I mean, they were already lined up, but like we can actually work on them now.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
The last couple months has been pretty brutal. So
right. Yeah. So
and after this weekend,
much has gotten done.
Yeah.
But now that, at least from my perspective, the move is done.
It's like we haven't uploaded a video in like a month.
Yeah. But again, soon to change.
+1 role player if Onion Kid is in California.
Yeah.
That'll change. So I'm super pumped about that.
Yeah.
I have like a million things I can say about Axe, though. It's like it's very intriguing to me, and I'm digging it a lot.
Yeah, I'm interested to talk to Macrease and pick his brain more. Again, because Axe aside, the thought process underneath Axe, underneath a lot of what he's talked about, what he's worked on, it's revealing to other genres. It's revealing to other games that are even within the D&D genre. It's just good. It's good food for thought, things to think about to make things better, make things more immersive, make things more consistent. More verisimilitude, more immersion.
Yeah. Every California role player except me is on Critical Role and is a multimillionaire. Oh, man.
Rough.
I saw this was like, I can't knock them for this, but Critical Role did a live event where they're playing in front of a crowd in London, and they sold out an arena.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Like,
I gotta respect the grind.
I know, they got to be making so much fucking money.
Oh my God.
Critical Role doesn't role play, it performs. Correct. And that's the thing. There's we talked about this recently too, where there's people use the word role playing with different definitions, but they use
so many different definitions.
But they sometimes in the same sentence they'll use it interchangeably.
Oh yeah.
Where it's you have role play, which is you acting as the person. Acting is in the sense of action, not performance.
Right.
Acting as the character would within the world, in a way that is consistent and authentic, versus the performing. Yeah,
performing as something or telling an explicit story with story beats, actually storytelling, as opposed to a story that emerges. They'll use all of these these definitions
it's
in the same sentence, in the same thought.
And it's very frustrating because it causes all of this stupid confusion.
Right. I mean it just goes to show, with everything else, 99% of everybody doesn't think about anything.
Yeah.
Least of all the things that they actually claim to care about, because they're just writing entertainment.
Yeah.
Or enjoyment. They're not internalizing anything. They don't have any ethos. They don't have any actual sense of taste, or even if they could muster up some degree of taste or aesthetics, that's not. They can't or won't self-reflect about what it is that they're doing.
No, they're not capable of it.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah, they're incapable.
Right.
Wouldn't mind the critter money. Critical Role.
Yeah. I mean,
I would not mind that either.
Yeah.
I would like it, actually.
Yeah.
I would desire that.
I desire the money.
Yeah.
Not anything else. So, but
I also read more of Lone Wolf Fists, the Fist of the North Star RPG by Joel T. Clark.
Yeah.
Really liking it. I definitely want to play that at some point, but we've got so many fucking games.
So many things. Yeah. I would really like to do a video, or at least, this is it's a good excuse to actually get the Substack going. I want to read some games and some game books, ponder my thoughts on them and put them down and see if it makes sense to me at all. If I just have no taste. I do have taste. But there's so many interesting things that or potentially interesting things that I haven't explored, that we haven't explored, that a lot of other people haven't looked into either. I was talking the other day about Tecamel. I've talked about it before. I really want to give that a run for its money. I want to reread some things, or read for the first time some stuff in that's been published for that world. I know that the latest RuneQuest book is the RuneQuest mythology book, which is what I thought and wanted their Prosopedia book, source book, which came out a couple months ago. That big Mega Autist book that you tweeted and I showed you the other day. They were originally going to do another one of those for the entire cosmology and mythology, all the innumerable deities that exist in that world. And for whatever reason, I think because they kept adding more, and it wouldn't be financially or physically sustainable with regards to the actual binding of a book that big. So they've split out the contents, or their plan is to continue to split out the contents of what were two gigantic coffee table books. And they have, if I remember correctly, they have a book called Prosopedia, which I was very disappointed in. It's just a list of not stat blocks, but it's blurbs on all the gods, and it's I skimmed it and it looked utterly useless to me.
Yeah,
I was very disappointed. They have a book on the Lightbringers, which are a kind of pantheon in that world, the Earth goddesses, and I think that's it. And then they just released mythology, and I'm hoping that the mythology book gives a real deep dive on the morality, the cosmology, and sort of the mythic physics, the mythic laws of reality that are underneath that world. If they're going to continue to make the game in the way in which they've always said it's supposed to be. So maybe I'll do a Substack on that.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Hey, man.
Hello, gents. Joining late, says Bottle Cap.
No worries.
Yeah, no worries.
We waited for you.
Yeah. As you can see, we are no longer separated.
Yes.
Permanently, Black Lodge Games is a staple of Texas.
That's right. Never going back.
Never going back to the blasted, godforsaken Northeast.
Yeah. Awful. Although it's been cold the last couple of days.
Yeah,
but
it dropped like 40 degrees in one day and then
But it's going back to 87 on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
so back to fall,
thank God.
November weather.
Can't wait. Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we're caught up with the chat.
Good.
Yeah, but I mean there's like a giant fucking stack of games. Which means that we're going to not run all of them for quite a while because it's just going.
Right. I mean,
that's just the logistics of running games.
Running games. But that's also why we need to get the word out going. For this meetup going. It's more for us than it is for them.
100%.
We need.
But I mean, that's everything that we do.
So we need good players,
yes,
or at least players with promise and are trying.
Yeah, we need players who
want to do the same thing.
Who want to do the same things that we do. Exactly.
Yeah. I will not waste Promethean or Shadows of Esterin on trash players. Shadows of Esterin especially is so beautiful in every sense of the word, from the art, the editing, the content. It would be a crime against humanity.
Yeah, I was going to say it'd be criminal to do that. Now that I'm not listening to two different streams at the same time, I'll be more active in the chat. Thanks, Justin.
Nice.
Were you in Max's stream?
Oh, is he streaming tonight?
Yeah, he usually starts like an hour and a half before us.
Yeah.
But we started a half hour early today, so.
True.
Yeah.
It's all fucked.
Yeah, we did screw up. But I also think that there's like a bunch of other people streaming tonight as well.
Okay.
So.
Got it.
Whatever.
It is.
What can you do? Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah, I will not waste. I will not waste the games. Like it's like we were talking again yesterday also about Wraith the Oblivion, a game that you've run, but I've always wanted to play and never have. But that's a game that it's like I need the exact perfect group to do that.
Right.
Not the perfect I'm not saying like we have to literally like comb the earth for
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
Yeah. No, but that's a game where it's like, this is not a pickup game. This is not like,
right.
There's nothing casual about that game.
That's the most, I was saying this the other day, that Wraith the Oblivion is the most ambitious game ever made for the purposes of immersion.
Yeah. For the purpose of immersive roleplay in the way that we like to do it. It's like, it's nothing. I don't think anything comes close.
Yeah, nothing comes close. Yeah.
And the fact that so many morons say it's unplayable. We of course will play them. Yes. Prove them wrong. But
I have proven them.
I know you've already proven them wrong. Yeah, but it's so good. It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
So inspiring, and the art, at least from second edition onward. I've actually never seen first edition.
I don't think I have either.
But I've also heard that the first editions of the White Wolf games were all dog shit. Prototypes and then they
which if anyone out there is familiar, is that true with regards to Wraith? Because Wraith, I can't recall where Wraith is on like the order. It was vampire first, then werewolf, then mage. It all breaks down after that. I don't think the Wraith definitely wasn't the last one, because that got support multiple in multiple editions.
Maybe Changeling
or the smaller like semi lines like Mummy the Risen or Demon the Fallen.
Demon came much later, and then I think Orpheus also came later, but in that one was
that's right. There is
like sort of related to Wraith.
I have no idea what Orpheus is. I know that it exists. I've heard the name, and I know that it is somewhat related to Wraith. I just don't know how.
I think it's
is Orpheus more like what Geist became?
I think so. It's I think there's more interaction with the Skinlands, but like I said, I've never played it. I've never read it, so I don't.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm trying to remember back when I knew like everything about the World of Darkness. 20 years ago,
right?
And it's all left my brain.
But we were looking back. I was looking back again on one of the videos that Runeslinger made when he did his overview, his page by page, chapter by chapter, kind of like a review, but more of an in-depth analysis of Wraith 20 after the book had come out, after the long and much delayed Kickstarter. And he was comparing and contrasting between Wraith 20, Wraith Revised, and first edition Wraith. And it was disheartening to note his many criticisms about Wraith 20. So again, that's at the top of the list of something that I know both of us really want to dig into at some point once we have the right group available for it. And I'd like to not waste my time like reading through any edition which isn't sort of the superior one.
I'm
evocative and playability perspective.
I'm positive it's second edition, because I don't think Wraith got a revised.
Oh, okay.
And all of the first editions, from what I understand, are very bad, and were very short-lived.
Okay.
So I think Wraith
second would be the way.
Wraith second is probably the way to go, because that also probably would have come in the second edition production timeline. That probably would have come towards the end of it, and then revised would have started coming out. For the other lines.
Okay.
But
who knows?
I don't know.
If anyone out there knows, let us know.
Justin says, you can play a game more than once, right?
You can, but there's so much to do.
I'm not sure what he's saying here.
You can play like RuneQuest more than once, or D&D more than once. That's what I think he's saying. Maybe I'm wrong.
How hard is it to organize time in your schedule and dedicate it to a task? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what this is in reference to.
Yeah, I don't know what this is in reference. What the fuck are you talking about, Justin? You can play a game more than once. Maybe he's saying you can play more than one game.
True.
And organizing your time around it.
Yeah, but it's so hard to get people. Well, first of all, we don't have players.
Yeah, we don't have
good enough, and then getting people available for once every other week can be difficult in your mid-30s.
Right. Everybody has social lives and jobs and girlfriends and all that other dogs, kids. Yeah. So it's
I mean, I'm not opposed to that in the abstract.
But also my other thing is like I don't want to play in like
I have other interests
2 or 3 games a week. That would fucking suck. I have other interests is the thing.
Right.
And the thing is it takes a lot of mental energy. Like it's taxing. So it's like and my job is already like very mentally draining. So like I don't
relatable.
I play on the weekends every other week at the moment. I could probably do a game every weekend. But
I think run 1 week, play the next week.
Yeah.
That would be the ideal rotation from my perspective.
And possibly, I mean, it'll just depend on
if I had nothing,
if I had to run a Wednesday night game or something like that, I could.
If I had the Critical Role money and things would be different.
Yeah.
If I had literally nothing else to do.
Yeah, exactly. If I was a teenager again, I could definitely do it. I never bring in outsiders to game together unless we've had multiple convos about what we want in RPGs. Getting on the same page is fucking paramount.
Absolutely.
It's the most important thing to the success or failure of your game.
Yes.
Like, without a doubt. Almost all problems stem from choosing the wrong people.
Correct.
That was back when you were talking about getting the right people for your precious games, lol. And the second one was for people who don't show up to every session. I don't know. That is, how hard is it to organize time in your schedule and dedicate it to a task? For some people, it's hard to get them to actually commit.
But again, as we've said, no gaming is preferable to bad gaming. And at this point, like, you have the house group, and it's more loose in that regard, right?
Yeah.
It's more, it's more casual. Let's put it that.
It's more casual. We're not doing and I did not approach the group. They approached me to play, not the other way around, because I was talking about our YouTube channel. But I didn't say like this is the like I want to do the immersive gaming thing. But,
like that's already on the schedule, right? That's on the calendar.
Yeah.
I insist at this point on doing the immersive style without again, no apologies, no compromises. That's what I want. I'm going to get it. And I'm not accepting defeat in that regard. And I'm not going to waste my time doing anything less than that. So that's what the meetup is for. And I'm certainly not gonna waste.
Who knows? We might not find anybody.
Right. And I'm not gonna waste my time running something like Shadows of Esther, which is clearly so intended to be that.
Yeah, it's a serious game.
Hack and slash.
Yeah, it's not hack and slash. It's not. There's nothing like goofy or funny about it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It's not a game for like player shenanigans.
Right.
On a scale of 1 to 10, avoid everything below a 4, but accept everything above a 6.
Replace the 6 with an 8. And I agree.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Max.
This framing looks like a French movie. Yeah, you're right. It does.
All right. Well, then we have Mr.
It was
Max's
intentional.
Yeah, we have Max's approval now.
Yeah.
Nice. Good to see you. Hope your stream went well.
Yeah. We started a half hour early on ours, so apologies if we split any of the audiences.
Yeah.
And so I don't even know. I mean, I hope that we find that the meetup finds
yeah
a good group of people.
We will, whether it comes primarily from the meetup, or not. There are already so many really interesting and cool people in this city and around this city
for sure,
and also out there in general. There are a lot of people who are quietly suffering, who just need to know that it doesn't have to be garbage, or you don't have to settle for getting like 7% of the thing I want out of this 4-hour activity, or 5 hours, or 3 hours, or however long you're spending doing your sessions.
Mm-hmm.
It can and should be better.
Oh, no worries. We were supposed to end at 9:30 as you start, but we went like 5 minutes over. We started 30 minutes early though, so that was also
it all worked out. We're all here.
We do send our people over though. Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Thank you, Max.
We are happy to steal the audience. We need the watch time and the views.
Right. Don't we all?
Yeah.
But yeah, so now that this move is over, a lot of things that have been percolating, we've been talking about and sort of either keeping in mind or sort of slowly simmering. We're going to be moving forward with much more energy. Not having to go to the office is going to be great.
Yeah.
Cannot wait.
Finding those who have never gamed before to join you is golden. No presuppositions to correct, no shitty habits to break. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Even so, in the last session, when you were not here in the Wretched Epic game, our psychopath character, she got like really, really into it. It was creepy. Right. It was fucking awesome.
Very much in character.
Yeah.
Out of character and in character.
This was very in character.
It
was awesome. Like she choked this like commie anarchist terrorist to death.
Based.
But she's like, as I choke him, I said, I look him in the eyes and I say, I'm sending you to the place where I send everyone. I was like, Jesus. He's like, this is fucking great.
Yeah.
Buying a home and moving completely derail our mental lives. I'm dying to get back to cranking out content. Yeah. Like I said, I
got a house.
Yeah, congratulations on that, man. I think we haven't. I think the last podcast episode.
We're going to be getting back to that.
Ago. Yeah, podcast will return. God damn it! They fucking changed the UI. I hate this one. I hate it when they do this shit. 2 months ago.
It's been much longer than a month.
Okay, it's been 2 months since we did the podcast. That's a fucking while. And we've done like a couple.
It's going to be
streams.
Logistically easier as well. Us being in the same place, not having to sync up and align green screens and all that technical nonsense.
Yeah.
So we have some ideas how to make the format even better.
Mm-hmm.
We know we have a list of things we're going to be talking about. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and we've got like actual like YouTube video content that we've been planning for like a while that we just haven't been able to buckle down and work on because we're traveling everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But the time is now, and I am at least next weekend.
Next weekend will be
the travel's not over yet. But I am very excited to do it. It's going to be difficult, but the level of quality is going to be a lot closer to something like the Lion and Dragon video we made.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, so I think that we'll probably start getting considerably more reach, which will be
awesome. A video that has to be made, and one which is of interest to a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of them have to be made.
Oh yeah, 100%.
One of them will resonate more with you know, our people, but the second one must be made as well.
Yeah.
And there's not like it doesn't matter. We can tell them what they are.
Yeah.
Working on a video on safety tools because we watched these
these deranged witches,
dumb broads on the Onyx Path channel talking about safety tools, and
it's worse than you think it is.
Yeah, it's so much worse than you think it is. These people are terrible, evil weirdos.
Yeah.
And so we're doing a video about that at some point soon, and the next one is going to be about AI art in tabletop role-playing games.
You have a lot to say about that.
I have a lot to say about that. And it's driving me fucking insane because it's like almost every other day some idiot is running their mouth about this that they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't, it's like I've said, I even made the don't make me tap the sign meme about it. It's like they don't know anything about AI, about art, or about ethics, and they're making claims in the same sentence about all three of them.
Yeah.
And it's driving me absolutely fucking crazy.
Right.
And I think that one will probably have that'll have broader appeal than just role-playing games.
I would imagine so, because AI art is it's a broader topic.
Yeah, and this is a very hot take.
Right, a hot but correct take.
It's a very correct take.
Yes.
No, but I mean, it's like some people will get part of the argument right, and then most of it wrong, and they get it right in different ways. But most people are wrong about all of it.
All of it.
And
most people are just screeching, and the creatures who are screeching the loudest are the least deserving of. Yeah,
and just the dumbest fucking people on the planet.
Oh yeah.
It's really frustrating. Also got ideas talking about constructing dungeons that make sense, and different topics on different like games. We're also I had an idea because he got the module for one of the modules for Shadows of Estrin.
Right.
Which is, like you said, like the production values on all their
it's a curated experience. The word module,
good.
The word module doesn't do it justice.
No, it doesn't. But the production value on it is just fucking amazing. And so I think it would be good to make a video about that versus like D&D modules.
Yeah, because I mean, like,
but again, I can't read it because you're gonna run it.
I'm gonna run it.
So
yeah, like
it
you
would be spoilers.
Yeah, it's a waste of time to talk about a D&D or a Pathfinder module. It's like you can critique it and say, okay, this thing doesn't make sense. Here's how it would make more sense. Or, oh, great, this, again, like what your feedback is, what anyone's feedback is on any movie. Oh, it's not that bad because of X, Y, and Z. That's not particularly interesting or insightful. And even if you change enough of the material or the chain of events that happen in a D&D module, ultimately what you're doing is still, it is what it is. It's like you're not going to change anything. It's not.
Well, no, because I mean the bedrock of the module is the way the game is designed.
Right.
And the way the game is designed is not a way that allows you to have a really consistent, a world that would be consistent and satisfying to our tastes and definitions and in our style of gaming.
Right. Its underlying principles are antithetical to
the sort of thing we want to do. Right.
We were also watching a Matt Colville video where he actually got something right.
Oh yeah. We watched a couple Matt Colville videos the other day.
Yeah.
And one of them was very dumb. It was really bad. But before we'll get to the good one that you were talking about. But he was talking about like designing encounters and how it can be so easy because all you have to do is
and how you get inspired.
How you get inspired, and you don't need all the answers. You don't have to have everything figured out.
Except you do.
Except you
Except you need to set up an account on Foundry and Roll20
and get all these maps.
Get all the maps. Yeah.
And just find a map that is inspiring to you. But you can go through, and all the maps, they have different times of day that you can look at them at. It's like, oh my god, I couldn't imagine what trees would look like at night.
Yeah. Thank God I have this encounter map, this battle map for a forest in the wintertime. There's no way anyone could imagine a forest in wintertime.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
The whole thing is he's like, so what I would come up with when you get to the edge of the forest is, I would say something along the lines of, like, you can see that there's one set of footprints coming out, but there's two sets of footprints going in. Mm-hmm. You give them details like that that they'll pick up on and they'll be interested in, and they'll ask questions, and then maybe one of them has the spell that they can talk to animals, and then okay, you just got to come up on the spot. What did it see? And so, I saw two people go into the woods. Like it's all of this shit, and it's like, okay, he preps this like series of encounters like deeper into the woods. I'm like, what if they don't go into the woods
at all?
Yeah, like what? What do you do in that situation? What is the advice when they don't go the way that you thought they were going to go?
Well, the solution to that problem is the game doesn't exist outside of the forest. The whole rest of the world, there's zone walls around the battle map.
Yeah.
Nothing exists. The rest of the world has to load. Yeah. Like, holy shit.
Holy shit. It was so bad.
Yeah.
But then he had a video that was talking about...
in an astonishing moment of lucidity.
Yeah. And it was like 15 straight minutes of lucidity. Like, we literally... It was like 4 minutes into the video, and I was like, I haven't disagreed with him yet.
Yeah. What's going on?
And then it got to the end, but that one was like him talking about... 5e and other games, and like certain games do things... certain types of games better than 5e, like cosmic horror.
Right,
Cthulhu is way better at cosmic horror than D&D. And what was the other example he had? Like some Morkborg. That was definitely not one of them.
I don't remember. It doesn't
I don't remember, but he's talking about these different games that do different genres and different things, and he comes to the conclusion. He's like, everyone tries to force 5e to do all of these things. He's like, but what is 5e? Oh no, he talks about original D&D.
Original D&D.
Yeah, and how it has the gameplay loop of a dungeon. It's a survival horror dungeon experience where you plunge deeper into the levels so that you can become more powerful, so that you can plunge deeper into the dungeon, so you can become more powerful. And this is the sustained gameplay loop of survival horror. And he's
you're tracking things, and every
like your resource management, like everything
is dangerous. It's supposed to be in his analogy. It's the constant threat of being overwhelmed,
right?
What have you.
And then he's like, so this is a game about cosmic horror. This is a game about survival horror. Mm-hmm. What is 5e about? Nothing. Which is correct. Which is totally true.
It is a game about nothing.
It is a game about nothing.
Yeah. It's a game.
It's like Seinfeld.
it's like Seinfeld.
So what's the game about? Nothing.
Yeah. It's like nothing. Or it's like it's Sam Harris's minimum viable religion. It exists.
You remember that time we were standing in line for Chinese food? That's the game.
Holy shit. Yeah. Like, it's almost, if it was aware about itself, it would be like a meta.
Yeah.
It would be like the most meta joke ever.
It was so funny though, because he's like basically like submissively peeing himself though to not piss off the 5e
right,
people.
He's throwing in disclaimers.
Yeah, he's a disclaimer every second. He's like,
if you have fun in 5e, that's fine.
I'm saying you should play 5e. Don't stop playing 5e. That's not what I'm saying. I like 5e.
Yeah,
but it's not about anything. But don't stop playing it. It's like,
just one man's opinion.
Yeah. What did you say yesterday? Like,
here's my opinion, but I could just be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Please
it's okay if I am too.
It's okay. I would love to do it. I am. I love to eat it. I love to eat it.
You just tell me what to do and I'm going to do it. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Let me perform my own humiliation ritual for you.
But he was completely right. And I was sitting there thinking like, why the fuck do people play that game? Because he's 100% right. It's not about anything.
Right.
Like the core of the game, there's no genre to it. And we talked about this before, where it's like, if you get the player's handbook, you are presented with fantasy world, and people are like, well, it's medieval superheroes. It's like, it's not even medieval.
It's not even that.
Like it's sort of superheroes, but it
doesn't conform to anything in the superhero genre except that you happen to have abilities. That's it.
Like, like you can like shoot a laser out of your hand, like Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, it's when you think about it, it's astonishing. I mean, it's the perfect Bugman product. It's the uber corporate like gruel. Is what it is. The only thing
he even said that he was like, "This is oatmeal." Yeah,
it's oatmeal. Yeah,
he's like, "Oatmeal's fine, I guess, but like, it's just oatmeal."
I like flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was actually it was astonishing.
Like, and but if
it's a good video.
It's a good video, except it was stupidly titled because it was about it was like titled "What Are Dungeons?"
Yeah,
didn't answer the question at all.
You're right, because that's why I watched you. We're like,
what are dungeons? What's his take on this?
Yeah, I was gonna be like, what's his take on dungeons? Like, how do they fit into the world? It's not about that at all. Buddy,
played.
Yeah. All right, let's check out on the chat. AI art is cool, and people with purple hair don't have ethics by default. Yeah. Basically. Dumb people don't put the work into becoming good artists. So AI, which doesn't do amazing art, when it outclasses them, they screech 100%.
Yep,
100%. Matt Colville has some interesting suggestions from time to time, but usually those ideas get caught in this comedically perfect hair. Yeah,
yeah.
He's very good at talking. Like there's like,
no dead air.
Yeah, no dead air, and it's not like these. It's not like a Philip DeFranco video where it's cutting every 3 seconds. He'll have like,
I hate that guy.
5 minutes of sustained, perfect speech in his little weird mannerisms, but where he doesn't flub anything. Yeah, his Pixar face, exactly.
Gotta hand it to him.
5e is a game about being different, but in a way that is completely meaningless. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being a conformist is the most unique thing you can do. You're a tiefling, but nobody discriminates against tieflings. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're special, but there's nothing special about you
or anything
else. Everything is so magically amped up,
and
that
everything
it's all meaningless.
Everything is meaningless. Everything is somehow 100% safe.
Yeah.
And yet there's just a 6 hours walk away, a lost dungeon that is teeming with CR appropriate encounters.
Right.
Which makes zero sense in any capacity. It's so dumb. 5e is a game that exists only to remind you about its own brand.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's do you remember Dragonlance? Do you remember this? Do you remember this? We're going to take the most watered down and sort of the widest, what would you say? Like tropes out of the history of the previous editions of D&D. And we're just going to present these things to you in a basically context-less setting, and you've bought this before, so buy it again. It's just vaguely identifiable,
and our system is built in a way that it supports everything, and therefore supports nothing in particular.
Yes.
And I don't think it supports everything anyway, but that's what it's pitched as.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same thing like in Baldur's Gate. Like the gameplay in Baldur's Gate is so fucking fun.
Right.
it being in the Forgotten Realms sucks.
It's it's awful. It's the worst part about
the setting is so stupid.
It's god awful.
Yeah.
It's god awful.
And I mean, I'm having like I said,
it's fun.
It's so much fucking fun. It's the best video game that's come out in at least a decade.
Oh yeah, certainly the best RPG for sure. Like I'm having fun with that because of the medium that it's in.
Yeah,
I'd kill myself before I played this like at a table.
And because it just the level to which they've gone to respect your choices and have that work and make sense is insane.
And it is incredibly detailed.
Yeah, incredible. Like the shit you can do in that game is awesome.
Yeah, and then it's a perfect example.
But it's all of that is in spite of the fact that it's the Forgotten Realms.
That it's the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, and that it's the modern Forgotten Realms.
Right. It's the 5e Forgotten Realms.
It's the 5e Forgotten Realms.
It's not even like the 2e Forgotten Realms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll still get a date for your prom. Yeah. No oatmeal is bulletproof. Your D&D books aren't. Don't try it. Trust me. You don't have any D&D books, though, because they've all been put in the fireplace, right? Nick has been in the South for a week and is already going, I want flavor. Colville's. That's the teleprompter.
Nice.
Teleprompter is the way to go, too, but I also think he's probably ad-libbing some things on the fly, because if he's writing every single little one of his turns of phrase into his script, that would be very impressive. That'd be
impressive autism.
Yeah. I see you guys during the Bert and Ernie thing. I guess. Maybe. I mean, we don't live together, so we're not doing the roommates thing. Although I did say on Twitter that we got a civil union. Yeah, the fireplace.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
So that was interesting, finding out that he actually had some interesting ideas, or like some not completely brainless takes.
Right.
That Encounters video was so fucking stupid.
So
though.
Awful.
But I was thinking, because one of the reasons that I've been thinking about dungeons again, and specifically, is because of Axe and me wanting to run Axe, is that the adventurer phase is firmly rooted in
the dungeon delving.
Yeah. And of course you don't have to. I'm sure there's other, like, I can think of other ways. I am already thinking of other ways where it's not going to be a dungeon delve every episode. Every session rather. But I do want to do at least one or two dungeons and have them make sense. So like I asked on Twitter the other day, like, if anyone is treating their dungeons as like enemy strongholds, essentially, like if you clear the first floor of the dungeon, after you're leaving, you're going back to town with your loot. Are you hearing like horns blasting behind you as like the rest of the dungeon comes out?
Do they react at all?
Yeah. Do they react at all? Do they counterattack? And I'm not just talking about like, what are the rules for when you re-enter the dungeon? We randomly reset some traps. There's new traps, and like some monsters may have wandering monsters may have taken up residence in some of the rooms you cleared. That's not what I'm asking. Because that's not even enough.
It's not. That's not the question.
Yeah, the question really is, it's like, if there's like a fucking sunken temple full of evil that has been there for hundreds or thousands of years.
Are these enemies portraying as if they have brains or not?
Yeah, and I mean that would also depend on, like, I mean, if you could have basically an underground fucking like ant infestation essentially, but we were talking about this yesterday. I know. And we were talking about this yesterday. It's like, if you're being like hired by people to like go and clear these dangerous dungeons, like you're basically like going and exterminating wasps, but it's like you're exterminating a wasp nest. There's $250,000 inside of it for some reason. Like, yeah, but the idea would be like the dungeon would retaliate. Like it wouldn't just wait for you to come back and slaughter the rest of it, you know?
Yes.
Like, it would be like, someone broke into my fucking house.
Exactly.
I'm going to find them and eat them or kill them. Or like, I I guess the town is getting a little uppity. Like, let's go fucking burn it to the ground and eat everyone. So I got some good answers. I got some very unsatisfying answers, but I got a couple of good ones. And Crossface in particular was like, yes, this is actually why like I'm coming up with like into like these skirmishes and like larger battles all the time is exactly because of this sort of thing. If you are treating this as a real thing, you know, and the characters are real, the monsters and NPCs are real, there's going to be a reaction to your actions, and you can't simply continue. You can't really just set up a camp outside the dungeon and keep going in and out, and having like your hirelings protecting the camp, because at some point the monsters on level 3 are going to swarm you at night. Like they're going to come out. It's not going to be doing it room by room where you're tactically doing these encounters.
No,
they're going to come and eat everyone.
Exactly. Right. If the game is just encounter design, you're going from encounter to encounter to encounter, and that's the game. It makes no sense, and there's zero reason why the dungeon couldn't just as well be one long 30 foot wide by 30 feet high, 500 foot long hallway where you just have, like an MMO raid, you have trash mobs that are 30 feet away, but they don't aggro you. If they can't hear you on the other side of the fucking door, or a blood and guts, the spells being cast, and fireballs, and people and monsters screaming, if they can't hear that a little bit down the way and don't act, why? Like, you're just playing an MMO raid at that point. So why, like, stop gussying up what's absolute dog shit.
And the thing is, like, we know some people are, you know, taking these things seriously. Like Rick Stump replied, and he said, like, like more than once, someone pissing off the wrong dungeon denizen has ended up with them getting assassinated in town later on. I know that there are a lot of people. I don't think there's a lot of people. I know that there are some people who have thought this through and are playing this in a more realistic way. But our criticisms, they mostly apply to the fact that most people, we know the way in which these games are played by and large.
Yes.
Nick has been literally spent like the last year and a half in a dungeon crawl, in an AD&D second edition dungeon crawl. He's done lots of dungeon crawls prior to this. I did them when I was a kid. But the way the game is played most of the time, and the way it is presented to new players, is this dumb way of like, okay, you know, you if this is the 5-room dungeon, you kick down the first door, or you pick the lock on the first door, you clear the monsters in that room. Nothing else has reacted to you,
right? Because the monsters don't spawn in.
They can't. They can't. You know, they don't care. They can't hear you. Like whatever. Like, when literally it would be like every door opens, they all go and try to murder you, or at least be like, what's going on? You know, like, or the idea like, we've cleared level 1. It's like Diablo. It remains cleared, you know, like, and nothing from below even comes up to check on what's going on. And that is just so stupid. It's so awful. Stupid. I hate it so fucking much.
Right. It's such a game way to look at this. And
and in the, like, this is why I like simulationism. and now that I have the actual word for this, and this is the thing, is like, if you are playing a role-playing game, the role-playing game should, I think, be trying to simulate a world, and you have to know what it is you are trying to simulate, you know, before you're coming up with these mechanics.
Correct.
Like, you have to have some reference to which you're it's like the restocking the dungeons and these things. I get why the procedures are written the way they are, but it's from a much more gamist perspective, and I hate that. It's like, I want the world to be real. God damn it!
Right.
Like,
why am I wasting my time if it's not?
Yeah.
Again, you know, like to go back briefly to Baldur's Gate, like
I just triggered myself.
Baldur's Gate is the penultimate example of a point that we've made before, where if you're looking at the hobby, and if you're getting enjoyment, or you believe you're getting enjoyment mostly or entirely from these mechanical gamist like dopamine hits, or that tactical fulfillment, video games do this better.
Yeah, good video games do, but yeah.
Well, even the medium itself is
right.
That's what that medium does.
If you want this clockwork Rube Goldberg machine,
right?
You know, that you're going to have all these procedures and things that, like, when this happens,
right?
And we have all these different, like,
that happens, and
triggers and conditions and metadata that we can attach to everything. It's like, if you're doing that, like, that has been invented. It's called video games.
It's called video games.
It's not this. This is a different thing.
And video games are fun.
And they're fucking awesome. Yeah, I like video games.
Right.
But it's a fundamentally different experience.
It's a different thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Completely.
So I got triggered because I'm like, I have to run the adventurer phase.
I have to get through it.
Yeah, I have to make. Well, it's not even that. It's just I have to make it make sense.
Correct.
And even in Axe, it's done. I mean, it's still. This is thoroughly like a OSR D&D experience. It's done extraordinarily well.
Right.
But
this book has, and the second edition when it comes out, as far as I'm aware, and based on all the things I have heard from Macrease and people interviewing or super chatting him, that game has put the most thought and effort into actually making a coherent genre out of the D&D tropes, the D&D quasi genre that has been with us for forever.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm interested.
Yeah, it's really, really fucking cool. The amount of thought that has gone into it, and playtesting, from what I understand, is really tremendous. This is something unique. So I can't wait to get the physical copies, but I'm really
Same.
I can't wait to just get the text. I'm like, just give me the text document.
Right.
I don't just like. I just want. It doesn't even have to be a PDF. Like I'll have it. You can give me a TXT file with everything in it. I'll read it. Yeah. So anyway, that was a rather large tangent.
What do we got?
If you did know good old Matt, he likes his trains. Yeah.
Yeah.
Autism. Hey man, if I knew for sure every third wasp nest had $250,000 in it, I would take that profession up in a heartbeat, even if I was deathly allergic to them. Yeah. I understand the economic incentive. It's the fact that you will not find $250,000 in a wasp nest. If your dungeon has more than 3 levels, it's not a dungeon anymore. It's a fortress. Exactly. I agree. And that's how I'm thinking about these things in terms of like,
what actually is this thing? How did it get here? What was it for?
Yeah.
How is it being used now?
How is it being used now? And if it's like, I'm thinking of it in terms of like, this is more than just a hostile biome. And I know all the different modules have different things. Like it's like you have like even the first one, like Temple of Elemental Evil, you know, like it is a specific thing, you know. But I am looking at I will even keep, I think, the elements of the chaotic and supernatural as something that is probably more rare in my game than it is in the standard or an Empire thing, because I like that stuff to be scary and special. And if we come to the point where it's a raid on a dungeon, it's going to be a introduction to a much darker understanding of the reality of the danger that this world is in, and it will be a stronghold basically that they crack open, and may require troops, you know, to support and help them clear.
And for these
it's
mega
like raising,
dungeons.
yeah, a mega dungeon, you would have to have like an army to like lay siege to it. The casualties would be enormous. Like it would be, it's not, and I'm not simply saying like, because I know people are like, well, this is why you bring hirelings. It's like, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
And it's not enough.
Yeah.
You know.
My GM tried that once, a goblin camp full of traps as opposed to a much larger palace of semi-mindless golems. But he had a lot of extra work in the golem one, but it wasn't as fun without thinking enemies. Yeah.
Right.
Automatons. That's not what I want.
Right. Also, a poor conceptualization of golems, which are going to be corrected.
Which will be corrected.
Yes.
Matt Colville actually had an encounter build where he had a goblin or something that could call reinforcements every 3 turns.
Good thing there's mechanics in place that he could only call for reinforcements once every 18 seconds.
Yeah, I couldn't have thought of this without the. Thank God there's a procedure here. Oh, that was the other thing in that video where he's like, I just got to come up with some monsters that'll, it's a spooky forest.
Yeah,
it's gonna have spiders, and yeah, maybe that's cliched. That's fine, but how could I spice this up? Maybe there could be like vines that entangle them and do this.
Yeah.
But I'm looking through the monster manual,
there's
no monster entry for vines.
How can I imagine this thing that I just imagined?
Yeah. How can I possibly think of what its AC is if there's not a stat block for it already?
Why am I so bad at this?
Yeah. Why? Some people need procedure, bro. They're just too soft in the head.
I mean,
you're not wrong.
Oh God. Yeah, it's like, how could you get this so wrong? How could you be so stupid?
I know. How can I possibly imagine the thing I'm imagining right now? Like, it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, it's very believable.
Very, unfortunately, it's extremely believable.
Surrounded on all sides.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about it because it's like I got the Sinister Stone of Sakura module for Axe, and the description of it's really cool. And I was like, this sounds awesome. And then I start looking at it, and I'm like looking at maps of rooms to clear, and I'm like, oh God. I'm like.
No,
man. I don't know how I'm going to do this.
Yeah,
I will do it, but I don't know. I'll have to figure it out.
Yeah,
but there's also, it's like you can't ignore. Like the whole thing is like the procedures for dungeon crawling. Like there's rules for it in here, and you're not going to get the full experience of the game. And this is the thing, is I want to get the full experience from Adventure Conquer to King, and experience the full breadth and depth of these rules, because it's just so it's such an interesting and ambitious thing that I'm like, I want to experience all of this. So I'm gonna have to do dungeons. Unfortunately.
Well, they will be logically consistent, right?
Yeah,
and he even has. I saw even in the first edition, he has. He's getting at what you were saying about keeping the real, the supernatural, the horror, the evil, not unique, but make it continue to be evocative. Don't have that be ubiquitous. Don't cheapen it with his, what does he call them? Sinkholes of evil.
Yes. Yeah. I vaguely remember that part.
So, I mean, mechanically, it's a very simple kind of thing, but where I think there's just certain bonuses and penalties which apply to certain sites because of certain factors. You can come up with that, but that's at least something of an attempt to preserve the unique, horrific nature of like what a real dungeon or a real concentration of something that is evil and inhuman.
Right. And I mean, and this is the other thing too, is it obviously it does like and I know people probably
as opposed to a monster den.
A monster den, a haunted house. It's like the kind of the perfect example of what I'm talking about. And I said this on Twitter, would be like the 1982 Conan movie when Arnold attacks Thulsa Doom's temple. And, you know, they interrupt this giant orgy. They're killing all these people. There's like cannibalism going on. Thulsa Doom's turned into a snake. Like it is this horrific den of evil and debauchery and chaos. They mount this attack. One of them, you know, the hot chick dies. They escape after killing Thulsa Doom and are pursued.
They don't kill.
Don't they?
No. He gets away because he turns into a snake. So I correct you. And
they kill him in there.
No, it's at the end of the movie. Conan chops his head.
Oh, that's right. He returns. Yeah. Yeah, he hacks his head. Hacks his head off and throws it down. Yeah. You're right. So they actually fail. You're right.
Yes.
They go in, they fail, and they are pursued out and have to have this fucking giant battle. Yeah. You're right. And Conan returns and hacks his head off, and it's fucking awesome.
Yes, it is.
You're totally right. You know what that means, though, right?
What?
It's been too long since I've watched Conan.
Oh yeah. Hey, we'll have to correct that.
Yeah.
Soon enough. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's where is there adversity in your game? Does it make sense? Why is it there? Why are you going there? I think even in the adventurer phase of this sort of like this hero's journey, this sort of the Conan story. You start as a slave, become a thief, all the way up to the King of Aquilonia. Conan started as a thief. If you are a level 1 thief, you don't have to just go through dungeons to like acquire gold, acquire experience, do the things that your character would naturally do based on where they are in their life and the experiences they've had up to that point. Rob a manor house, go to the Tower of the Elephant. I mean, you could say the Tower of the Elephant is a dungeon, but like actually, but Conan didn't know that. Yeah. Conan thought it was just a rich weirdo's. Oh yeah, there's a wizard in the whatever. That doesn't, Conan's not afraid of that. He's there to steal a jewel or something. Okay, it became something else. But had Conan been told at the beginning, there's an eldritch like elephant man,
elder god in there.
He probably wouldn't have gone. Maybe he would have, but but regardless, the point stands. So even in those early days of sort of adventuring or gaining prestige, power, money, renown, all of these things, there are additional and other things which you can and probably should also be leaning on if your world is makes sense, rather than going to a dungeon. Whether or not you are keeping dungeons sort of sites of real inhuman evil, or if it's an owl bear den or something, or a tribe.
I mean, there's like a million.
Like, all of these things should sort of be on the table as options that your players, through their actions and through their circumstances, should be engaging with or not engaging with at any one time.
Yeah, there's just a million ways you can do this that doesn't have to be standard. Like,
because an armed manor house is still a dungeon.
Let's talk to the villagers to find out rumors and see if there's just something cool around, something interesting that we can go and like raid or pillage. It's again going back to the example of the Conan movie. You have Conan's entire reason for infiltrating the cult temple,
right?
And doing these things and getting his woman killed by accident and all this shit is revenge.
Right. But that's the thing. That was written on Conan's character sheet. That was part of his backstory. The character had a motivation, a primary.
Conan had a tragic backstory.
Right.
You heard it here.
A tragic backstory and a badass character, but he had a driving ambition. I want revenge on Thulsa Doom for killing my family and murdering my people.
Yeah. And Thulsa Doom has like the best fucking line ever. Well, all of his lines are the best line.
Right.
But at the end when he's like, look at you, like everything that you've become is because of me. Like, it's awesome. So I gotta watch that again. I fucking love that movie. And then in the Conan stories, there's also times where like he basically unintentionally falls into these situations.
Yeah, again, a lot of the time.
Tower of the Elephant's one of them.
Tower of the Elephant.
There's the
Island of the Colossi.
Yes, that was the one one that I was thinking of, where it's like he didn't mean to run into this fucking monster, you know? Like,
right. They woke up at night.
He wasn't looking for it.
Right.
There's the one. It's out in the desert in that like weird city.
Yeah, where they go.
He's in like the tunnels under the city, and there's like the fucking toad monster.
Well, he gets. They don't get. It's
the one where the evil hot chick is whipping the hot.
Right. Yeah, because they're given refuge in this like eternally sleeping.
Yes.
And they're drug. I think they're both drugged, or one of them is drugged.
Yeah.
I found myself here, and I was also going to die of of like thirst or something. Yeah. If I didn't go here. So
I didn't go here because this is my career.
I didn't go there because there was approximately, based on my level, there's a certain amount of based on the treasure chart, there's probably no.
Yeah. And that doesn't mean that people don't intentionally seek out adventure too, but it's like, again, I just want the fucking world to be plausible. I want the story to be plausible.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Conan was seeking adventure.
Yeah.
In his own way. The adventure doesn't manifest and let me go into the dungeon to clear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The dungeon delving trope doesn't even map to any of the inspirational material. It doesn't map to myth. It doesn't map to fucking anything.
Well,
it doesn't map.
Someone brought up this point too, where they were like, all you need is ancient the idea of the ancient mythical underworld. And I'm like, I get that. That's cool. What does that have to do with dungeons?
Yeah.
Because they don't resemble myth at all.
And also, the mythic underworld doesn't have fucking cash.
Yeah, exactly.
Down there for you to get.
There's a giant pile of nickels.
Yeah. Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? You asshole.
Yeah. And that is another thing in Axe that I found interesting, is because he breaks down the monster types into, if you had something like an owlbear, its treasure is going to be like the fucking coins that were ripped off of the corpse of whatever it ate, or it's like broken equipment. But then you have the more intelligent monsters, maybe actually using it for resources for trade or whatever. And then you have the dragons, hoarding creatures, things like that. So it's there is at least an attempt here to make all of this make more sense, without just the excuse of it's pulp, have you read what is it? 3 Hearts and 3 Lions or whatever.
Yeah.
Have you read anything in Appendix N? It's
that's just a lazy non-answer.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't want to play Appendix N. That.
No. Also, there are things in Appendix N which are really cool.
Yeah.
You can't play if you play all of Appendix N maximally. There's multiple fucking genres.
Oh, yeah. The worlds are very different.
Yeah, you would actually have the most batshit gonzo setting.
This explains the Brosar. Actually, this does make more sense now.
Yeah. Appendix N was retarded from the start.
Well, Everything in Appendix N is important, therefore it all has to be in the same time. Everything all at once.
Yeah.
Like...
this does explain so much. They were right, but so wrong.
In the movies, Book Conan doesn't have that. Yeah, for the backstory.
Right.
Conan, I am your father. Yeah. How would you know what's in the books, Mr. Max? You can't read. Star Wars would be a lot better if Luke was more like Conan. That's true.
Yes.
Like, honestly, most things would be better if they were more like Conan.
Yes.
Every coin thrown at a chosen one's feet automatically teleports to hell. You didn't know that? Yeah. Hey, Muppet World was the most awesome thing ever, lol.
In someone's deranged mind, it was. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
the Wheel of Pain isn't actually in the Conan stories.
No.
That's literally an invention of the movie, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What a good iconic one, though. In the Tree of Woe.
Oh yeah, so good.
Crucify him
on the tree of contemplate this on the tree of woe. Yeah, crucify him. Yeah, so good.
That is power.
Yeah,
flesh. James Earl Jones was so fucking good in that movie. I am the wellspring from which you flow.
Yeah.
Without me, you have never been. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. God damn, that movie's so good.
Yeah,
and you know what? I've never seen
Conan the Destroyer.
Conan the Destroyer all the way through. I caught portions, like different portions of it on TV.
We'll watch.
And then the Red Sonja movie.
I never saw that.
Arnold in that, but he's not Conan.
I have no idea.
There is another movie where it's like,
I know there's a Red Sonja movie, but
it might be the Red Sonja movie, but I know there was another movie where I was like, holy shit, I'm like, this is a totally different Conan movie I've never seen. It's like, it is Arnold. He's playing someone who looks like Conan. It was like, it's not Conan though. Like, I could be wrong about that. Actually, I haven't seen Red Sonja since I was a kid.
Never.
Most people don't understand the riddle of steel.
True.
The riddle of flesh. He's Conan, but they didn't get the license to use the name, so it's kind of step over it in the Red Sonja movie. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Very lame.
Yeah, extremely lame.
Very lame. And very lame that we've never gotten. And I hope to God we don't get now, because it would be dog shit. The Conan the King.
Yeah.
Like what's in the epilogue? Conan on the throne.
Yeah.
As an old man or an older man.
I mean, like the thing is,
we're decades past that time.
What would be awesome in a good world, in a just world, not the sick, poisoned world we have, would be if something like Amazon or Netflix did the Conan short stories as a single season TV show. Each episode is just one of these stories.
Yeah, you do it like what is that show, American Horror Story?
Yeah, you could even put them sequentially.
Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome.
I mean, that would be good for so much shit, for all of Howard's stuff, for all of Jack Vance's stuff.
Yeah.
You need a crazy budget for the bizarre dying Earth world, but that's the perfect medium for like these like pulp short story anthologies. Lovecraft, Don't Much Horror, all these really cool, interesting but short, like isolated stories.
Did you see the Nicolas Cage movie Color Out of Space?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I felt like Lovecraft done fairly well.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw it on Shudder when I
didn't love it, but it was definitely fucking weird and cool. it got the like cosmic eldritch horror right.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be awesome to have Conan done justice with modern film and technology and modern budgets.
What is McCree's?
It would never happen because
it would never happen.
It would be the bad thing.
It would be the bad thing. Well, they can't not do the bad thing. They are literally incapable.
Did you hear they almost fucking canceled the Blade film? Like it was like the new Blade.
There's another Blade.
Yeah, there's another Blade being made by Disney Marvel. That was going to have Mahershala Ali. He's
I don't know who that is.
You would recognize him instantly if you saw him.
Okay.
Famous actor. But he almost walked from the movie because he was basically like the fourth wheel character to.
Was he Blade?
Yeah, he was Blade, the title character of the fucking movie, and he was basically like a supporting character to diverse female cast, like girl bossing their way through shit. Like, and he's like, I'm not gonna fucking do this.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, why am I here? I'm a supporting character. The movie's called Blade. I'm Blade. Like, what the fuck is this?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney's in trouble. Good.
I'm good. Didn't they cancel Snow White? When
they delayed it a year. Because did you see the Daily Wire? Well, I don't think it's because of this. It's because of her. What you're saying,
right?
That dumb bitch.
Yeah.
But the Daily Wire is doing their own Snow White movie.
Are they?
Yeah.
Is that in public domain now?
It's
maybe it had been.
Well,
for a long time.
Snow White is like is public domain. Anyway,
it has been. Okay.
I mean, it's a fairy tale.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it would be right.
They can't make Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. They're making it's like Snow White and the Evil Queen or something like that.
Okay.
And it's it's that girl Brett Cooper is playing. She's like
I know who she is.
Yeah, she's the Daily Wire.
I've seen her. Yeah.
She's the girl on the Daily Wire.
Right.
But somebody photoshopped. It's like one of the promotional photos of her where she's like looking over her shoulder, like smiling. They photoshopped perfectly. They found the perfect angle of Ben Shapiro and put his features on it. It's so fucking funny. But Disney, in response, they also apparently like all the dates that Daily Wire was going to do like press on this. They also did. They're like, well, we're booking our Snow White press on that day as well. It's like, which to me, I'm like
salty bit, and also it's
a sign of fucking weakness.
Yeah,
like,
it's a sign of weakness.
Like,
yeah, you're pitching a fit.
Yeah, but goddamn, that bitch is so awful.
Oh yeah,
so unlikable. Oh my god,
hate her.
Women, am I right? Red Sonja is not Conan. They didn't have the rights. Yeah, Conan the Destroyer sucks. Yeah. I remember I can't remember which story it is that is incorporated into it, where like the ape with the red cape.
Is that the
and it's the worst costume on that fucking
the
guy.
Queen of the pirate one.
That's not Queen of the Black Coast, is it?
Yeah.
Where they're in the tower with the mirrors, and there's the ape with the.
Oh no! You're thinking of something else.
Yeah.
No. I know what scene you're talking about. I thought you were talking about something.
No.
I don't know what. I always thought that scene was inspired from one of the Cull stories.
No, that's a Conan one.
Because there's a time, maybe it is because a lot of the Cull stories became Conan stories, but where he's in a mirror room, not with an ape, but with a wizard. Anyway, regardless, I don't know.
I don't remember. It's been too long. I need to. My Conan book is right there on the shelf. I need to go read that again. They were going to do that over at Amazon instead of Lord of the Rings, but it was too anti-feminist or something, so it got shelved. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Color Out of Space. I'd be curious. It's really like wacky cosmic horror.
Right.
It's gross. It's awesome. Yeah. L. Sprague de Camp did the best editing in the Conan books. Blade Trinity is the best movie ever made. Fight me, bro. I actually haven't seen Blade Trinity. I've seen Blade 1 and 2.
I think I've only ever seen Blade.
Blade 2 is fucking stupid.
Yeah. I believe.
No, the ape with the cape is when he goes in a manner to steal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But isn't that in Conan the Destroyer? I think it's in the movie.
That story.
I think it's in the movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because they get what is it? Like it's been so long as well. They go.
It's like a crystal castle.
It's a crystal castle. It's like on the way.
Yeah.
To where they're going, and like Conan goes in, and everybody else is trapped outside.
Like guiding a teenager somewhere or something. Like girl, I don't remember.
I don't know.
Like I said, I've only seen pieces of that movie, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. What
is McCrease doing with the Conan? thing again?
So the Conan thing, Chuck Dixon, the comic writer and artist, at least I think he's an artist, has done a lot, has made his own Conan like universe. It's like he's done a lot of the public domain stories.
Those public domain stories.
Yeah, there's certain ones are public domain and certain ones aren't. And he's done his own kind of expanded.
I should check which one. I'm curious which ones are public domains and which are not.
Yeah, and so he's going to basically release a campaign setting in the world of Conan, which is fucking awesome. Are there any?
You may not know, but are there any areas of like the world that explicitly like can't be like can he mention Aquilonia or like can he mention Stygia?
Yeah, I think he can. He can't mention particular characters though.
Okay.
Certain characters they can't do. In certain adventures they probably can't, but I'm sure they could do something like it.
Got it.
But I think all of the territories they probably could.
Okay. I'm interested.
Yeah. I don't know. Blade is gay now. Yeah.
Like with so many other things.
In the movie, they have a monster inspired from the story, but has nothing to do with anything.
Okay.
That sounds like a movie. Yeah. Blade Trinity is worse than Blade 2, but it's got Jessica Biel. No, more importantly, it has Parker Posey, who is...
I don't know who that is.
She's fucking awesome. She's in... I'll look her up so you can see her.
What was she in?
These are like photos of her now. She's been in a bunch of stuff. She was in Best in Show.
I haven't seen that. I have not seen
Best in Show is so good.
There are many things I have not seen.
Really good actress, very funny. Let's look her up in Blade. And in this one, she got to be one of the vampires.
Nice.
And she was pretty cool from what I remember from the trailer.
Today I saw the World of Darkness YouTube channel had another dev diary on Bloodlines 2, and it looks fucking awful.
On what?
Bloodlines 2.
Oh yeah,
the video game.
Yeah,
it looks so terrible. They're gonna ruin that.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being good.
It's such a terrible premise.
Well, the original material before they scrapped the developer, the original trailer that came out looked terrible.
Yeah, it looked like an action combat game.
But the stuff that was being shown as like cutscenes, there's like the guy like doing the dance.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
Yeah.
I don't understand why some stories are not public domain. I thought it was 75 years after the death of the author. Yes. Author's life plus 77 years. I wonder if they were published after his death, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But if that's the case, I would think most Conan stories then would be public domain because most were published in his lifetime. Right. If not all. I don't know.
I think they all were.
I don't know the details about Howard's life.
At least they didn't make Conan a black woman. But I think they should destroy everything the boomers like. If I can't have anything, don't let the boomers sunset peacefully. I respect that.
Yep.
I think YouTube UI team must be retarded adding this fucking chat react thing on top of the chat. Oh, I know. It's so annoying. There's a little fucking icon if you're on the phone, especially that it like covers up a big portion of whatever the most recent chat is. It's so fucking annoying. Mr. Max, the ones that are not in public domain are the ones written by other authors in the same world.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
I have to type something to move the chat so I can read what's under the stupid heart. Yeah, exactly. I fucking hate it. It's not just the UI team. I believe The Sword and the Phoenix is not public domain, and that's the first story published.
Weird.
Interesting. Make it a pop out. It's the only way. Why would The Sword and the Phoenix not be public domain?
I have no idea.
I don't know. Well, certainly some things are not public domain because copyright ended up killing the Conan 2D20.
Right. Things that will be talked about.
Yeah, that will be That's a video. Yeah. I could put that in the AI art video in the intellectual property section, but I think that should have its own video. Its own dedicated video.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's an absolute travesty that they had to destroy their product because of the Chinese.
Yeah, because of the fucking goddamn Chinese. They had to literally burn their books and destroy the products in their warehouses because of the license.
Awful.
Awful. Really fucking terrible. And it's going to be a long time before anybody sells those on eBay, and they'll be expensive.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate. And the reason I know it'll be a long time is because I've been checking eBay and nobody's selling them.
I gave away my...
They're selling the art book. You can get that fucking easily, but you can't get the core book.
I gave Frank my Conan 2D20, which is fine. He'll actually get use out of it.
That'll be used well. We already said that one. Yes, Sword in the Phoenix is entering public domain in 2028. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Well, Modifius was going woke, so I'd rather they lose the license. Yeah, I think Crafty has said, though, that with the Conan thing, they were prevented from changing a single word of like the actual Conan material. There was something where like they were actually sort of restrained.
I remember
what they could even accomplish there.
Starting to read this and then got bored. And then I only ever had the Conan 2D20 core book.
What RPG company is not woke? I can name one. Black Lodge Games.
That's right. And only one.
Yeah.
Not true, but
not only, yeah. Not just one. But that's an example.
There are no big ones.
There's no big ones.
There's no big ones which are not.
Well, there's really only one. There's only two big RPG companies.
I mean,
there's Wizards, Paizo.
Anything that has gone beyond
anything that has a brand with anything that has enough resources to have an HR department.
Yeah,
is woke.
Woke. Yeah. Yeah. Although I like the Modifius
Drunken Cleric games. That's Max.
Nice. Yeah. I really liked the Modifius 2D20 game, at least the ones that I had, because I thought they were all very accurate and faithful adaptations of the IPs. Now I think I had the Star Trek one, Star Trek, Conan, and Dune. I think those are the only ones I had, but I thought they did a good job. Although I wasn't particularly a fan of the Dune book. I haven't read all. I've only ever read Dune. The first book. I haven't read anything else. I don't really even care to. Some people say some of the other ones are good, but I think there's so.
I think the consensus is that they get worse and worse as they go on.
Yeah,
and they get weirder and weirder. And
yeah,
honestly, the first one is the best.
Yeah, I mean. I get it.
Yeah.
Like, do you really need to know anything else after what's in the first Dune?
Yeah.
You've read Dune, right?
Many times.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite books. I actually read it like a year ago.
Nice.
I read it like maybe 4 months before the movie came out. Again.
I remember.
I read it in I read it twice in high school, and I think 3 times in the period between then and now. I
remember really liking it. Was so stupid, but it was this it was Emperor Battle for Dune. It was a strategy game in Dune. Loved it. And there was like a minor house called the Tleilaxu. I think who were all about genetic modification and like espionage and whatever. Fucking weird. They were like the Boar. I don't know if they exist. They probably exist now. I'm sure they're mentioned in one of the books, but what a weird game, but what an awesome game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great universe. I fucking loved the sci-fi miniseries.
Yeah.
So fucking well done.
Yeah. I forget what that guy's name is who plays Baron Harkonnen.
He's the town crier in Rome.
Yeah.
Which is another fucking
amazing
awesome show. It's so goddamn good. I love Rome.
I haven't seen that.
I just watched it for the first time.
In over 10 years.
Yeah, I just watched it for the first time within the last year. At the beginning of this year.
Cool.
Yeah, I watched Rome and then I watched Boardwalk Empire.
I love Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, it's so
good. As someone from New Jersey,
yeah.
I must.
Well,
it's also
as someone who was on Boardwalk Empire, I also
that's right.
I fucking forgot that I was in it until I was like, holy shit, that's me. Yeah.
Frank is in episode 2, I think, as an extra.
Really?
Frank is in episode 2, not of Boardwalk Empire, of The Strain.
Of what?
The Strain.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I started to watch it, but didn't finish it. But
yeah,
good show from what I understand.
All right, let's see here.
Let's see what do we got.
Even the indies are rogue for the most part.
Yeah.
True. No, I heard Drunken Cleric Games has one of those pre-rolls saying if you were right wing, don't buy our game or something like that.
Seems unlikely.
Autark is not woke. That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah, he's quite based and quite awesome.
Yeah.
If you're right wing, don't buy our games. We'll send them to
you. Nice.
Autark makes board games. I think you can definitely play it as a board game, like 100%. But
yeah, I mean, I think you can play anything as a board.
I think you can play anything as a board game. I think that there is ample opportunity for role play in Axe.
Yep. Hopefully to be proven.
Yeah.
True.
Almost everyone is left wing to me. That is true. Almost everyone is to the left of you. I'm expecting my review copy, Mr. Max, and I'm never going to deliver on that review either.
Damn.
Don't worry, Mr. Max. You're left wing to me. Oh, jeez, forgetting. Trying to get us in trouble. I love Rome, but they misrepresent Roman society to promote degeneracy. So manly, everyone else is a woman, Tim. Oh,
nice.
The garbage TMNT RPG is coming back.
We
had, when I was growing up, we had a bunch of the TMNT books.
Really?
Yeah, we definitely had the core book, which is the one where he's got the two swords and he's
okay.
They're re-releasing that, and we had the transdimensional Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had a source book where they're like, it's like a fight between the Foot Clan and the Turtles, and it's bloody as fuck. And they're on top of like a semi truck that's driving down the road. It's like this like car chase or something. It's this big action scene. There was a couple of others that had to have been, I know they were Palladium. They had to have been TMNT or something, that because it was like something down under.
I have no idea. I don't know anything about the TMNT.
Yeah, we actually had a bunch of Palladium books. I think we might have even had the Palladium Fantasy Core book.
Huh.
I was never super interested in them though. Like there was some cool stuff, but I was reading all those things.
At the game shop, there were a bunch of like used old Palladium Fantasy books and source books. I never picked any of them up.
We definitely had Ninjas and Super Spies. Heroes Unlimited. Did we have Mutants and Masterminds? We might have. We had like a bunch of those, but I never played it. Never played any of them. I'm shocked that TMNT is making much more than Axe.
No, it's a recognizable name.
Yeah,
brand.
It's a big IP.
Yep.
Nostalgia, exactly. For boys, we have a nostalgia epidemic,
yeah. And have had for some time.
Yeah, I get it. The current world sucks. It was better before. Do something about it. Yeah,
that's the thing, though. I don't think the world was much better before. It was just that we didn't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain ways.
There's certain ways it was better because the world has degenerated and become more incompetent and more fucked up. But a lot of the really fucked up stuff has always been.
Yeah. I think the thing is, I think it's both.
Yeah,
because it is. It's like there are certain ways in which like things are objectively better, and it's almost undeniable. And there's ways in which it has certainly gotten worse, for sure. The reason I will say that it is objectively better now than it was previously is because there is not an amount of money that you could pay me to go back in time and live 2 decades or 3 decades or 4 decades ago.
Yeah.
I don't care how rich I am in that time. I don't want to live
there. Agreed.
Oh. The TTRPG crowd is regressing. Define better. Yeah, I mean, that's, I don't know. I think there are, like I said, on certain axes, we're absolutely better, and some we're objectively worse. But there's not one lump sum betterness or goodness. Back in the 90s, most women were not internet whores. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They were just
whores.
in real life whores. Yeah. Better women 40 years ago. Few people starving to death these days. That's a win. Yeah. Better women 40 years ago. I think probably objectively true. I mean, millennial.
Yeah, I mean, there was less.
Millennial women dating market is. It's rough.
Yeah. The last generation.
Yeah.
Which I think may in fact be true. Can most Zoomers be called human at this point?
What's up, Rick?
Hey.
Just got home. Glad to see you. We've been talking about a whole bunch of stuff. We talked about dungeons. We didn't talk about dragons really all that much.
Mentioned them
in passing.
Yep, in passing.
Yeah. Talked a lot about Axe. Talked about
some stuff we will have going on very shortly.
Yeah.
We're in the same place, same state, same city.
Triggered myself quite a lot. There's some good bits in this stream to go back and and take a look at for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But
anyway, I gotta get packed.
Oh yeah, you gotta get up.
The last stop on the wedding death march.
You gotta get up early for your flight and all the things you gotta do beforehand.
Yep. Drop off my dog and all that shit.
The last leg of the journey.
You pledged for the new Axe. Good. So did I.
Nice. As did I.
Yep. I got the thing. I'm thinking about getting the poplar wood box now.
I don't want it.
I didn't think I wanted it, but then I looked at it again.
Yeah.
And I was like, they do all fit inside it.
Well done, McCrease.
Yeah. McCrease, you dog.
What are the profit margins on poplar wood?
I don't know.
They'll buy it. Nice.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Anyhow, we're going to call it a night, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week, and new stuff coming soon.
Very soon.
Yeah.
Very soon. So much obliged for everybody sticking around, stopping in.
And have a good night. And remember,
no apologies.
No compromises.
There we go.